Hi everyone. This is really just a video about me ranting, or not ranting, but um, more talking about what today, I guess, means for me. Um, Today, 2 years ago, today, my older brother David passed away, and I guess I just wanted to talk about it, tell you guys like my point of view and you know stuff like that. To the people who know me or don't know me, or you know just want to talk, really. So, um, I will be crying sometime or some points in this video. So, if you really don't want to listen to someone cry or whine or talk about something really sad, then you don't have to watch this. Um, so, yeah, 2 years ago, he passed away. And, you know, he, I clearly remember how everything was. What was the last thing he told me, physically and in text, because they both kind of happened. It happened on a Sunday, and that Saturday, before he left, he went to this party and slept over someone's house. But before he did that, he was playing video games, and I was in my room, and like how our rooms are, we can see each other. So he was playing video games, and he kind of yells at me, not yells, but like, shouts or whatever. And he tells me, hey, Garo, when are you gonna learn how to play PS3 with me or something like that, so that you can play with me or whatever. And I'm like, well, maybe if you buy another controller, then maybe I will. And so he just laughed, and that was it. That was the last thing he told me, um, physically. You know, that Sunday morning, he texted me asking if my mom is home or awake, or I'm not 100% sure, but something about my mom. Um, like around 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, I'm not sure. Um, and in the report, it said that the crash happened at 8:45. So, um, that was literally like an hour before, which sucks. Because I mean, I could say, oh, I could have woken up to reply to him and say my last words to him, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. Um, so after that, I was home alone that Sunday because it's five of us. It's my parents, David, me, and my little sister. My parents went to this church retreat. I'm not 100. I don't remember, something with church. They left. My brother obviously was not there. I was home alone, and my little sister had slept over at my cousin's house. My cousin's house, so that she can play with my nieces or whatever. So I was home alone, and so this lady, patrol, highway patrol lady, girl, whatever, knocks on the door, and she's like, "Oh hey, are your parents home? I need to talk to them as soon as possible." So I'm like, okay. And so I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, there's this police lady, and she wants you guys to be home. She needs to tell you something. So that happened. And so in my mind, I was like, oh my God, David did something bad again. Um, because he was very into like drinking, going out to party, and all that stuff. So they come home, and I didn't want to be in the same room because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to know or not, but me being nosy as I am, I was still listening through my room door upstairs. So I couldn't really hear everything, but I could hear some things. Um, so I was being nosy, like I said, and so I was kind of just listening through the door. Um, and all I heard was like whispers, and then like out of a sudden, I hear my mom just crying, just crying. And so I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should go outside. So I did, and so I went downstairs, and I hear, the door close as the lady left. And, halfway going downstairs, I look at my, like at both of my parents, and it just clicks, because the look that I see in both of my parents was just the worst thing ever. It it is like worse than when they tell you that they're disappointed in you or something like that. But it is, oh, my heart dropped at that point because I knew what happened. And, I'm looking at my dad and he's, not crying, but he's holding it in because he doesn't want to cry. Um, and I'm looking at my mom and like I said, she was crying. So, and I was the only kid obviously in the house. So, I go to them and I hug my mom tight and she's just letting it all out to me. And, I cried a little bit, but I really didn't want to because I wanted to be there more for my mom than I wanted it to be her for me, you know. So I let her cry, and and I'm looking at my dad, and I mouth it to him that I love him, and he said, I love you too, and so kind of just talked about what happened, and so he got in a car crash, and the driver guy lived, and it was actually one of his friends, and honestly, I was not angry about it. A lot of people at that time are like, well, maybe she should have died and this and that, blah, 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 and I don't know what. No, that is not even a thought that went in my head because I knew this guy and I knew this friend. And even if I didn't know him, why would I wish that or why would I say that to someone that, that happened? Like, yes, it sucks that, my brother passed away and the other guy didn't, but it's life, you know? Um, it, what can I say, you know? But I guess it sucked to see my parents that way. And it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me until like later, So at that time, I went upstairs and I called up everyone that I could and let them know. And, and then quickly people just started coming to my house and it got pretty full. And not that there's anything wrong with that because there isn't. It's just, like I said, everyone takes death differently, and the way I took it or the way I wanted uh, it to be for me, I only wanted to be around my parents, my little sister, and the family that I'm actually comfortable with. And that means like my dad's side of the family, like, you know, um, his sisters or his sister's kids, or same thing for my mom's side. My mom's sisters and brothers, and also my cousins on that side. My first cousins and second cousins. You know, uh, for the rest of you guys that did go, thank you for going. But like I said, at that time, at that time, I didn't want to. No offense, I didn't want to be around people that I don't really talk to. Sometimes when death happens, you want to be alone. And so that's kind of how I took it. And I didn't really cry around the people I was comfortable with either. I didn't cry until I was alone. When everyone left, like during the night, I went to his room and I just cried. um, I cried and I cried, and it got to me because, like I said, I was in his room by myself. I was going through his stuff. I could smell how dirty his room was. I can see how everything was just everywhere, and it just sucks, but there's nothing I could do. Um, and so that happened for like a week, and there was a lot of people, and like I said, I really didn't go downstairs unless I was hungry or I went out to go distract myself, um, or to um, to go see how my mom is doing, how my dad is doing, how my little sister's doing, and oh, it sucked. I feel like it got to me more telling my little sister um, than anything else because because telling a kid, hey, your brother just passed away, it hurts. I mean, not that she was really close to David anyways, because she was more closer to me, but oh, my heart just it was really hard telling her because she's so pure and innocent, and telling her really bad news is, oh, I honestly didn't even want to tell her. um, and now when I see her, I try to spend as much time with her as I can because now she's the only sibling I have, and after she found out, she cried obviously. Um, but she did the same thing I did. She tried to distract herself by playing with my nieces, cousins, whatever. Um, but yeah, then the viewing came along, and the viewing there was a lot of people. um, I really didn't expect to see that many people, but yeah, it was I don't know. To me, it was kind of crazy just how many people knew my brother. Like I don't know. I didn't think he had that many friends. um, I'm just kidding, but I and the weird thing was that I was fine. I didn't cry. I didn't really like. It didn't really get to me. Um, even when I saw him, the dead body, um, it didn't get to me. It didn't get to me until I got up there and I said the eulogy or my part of it. Oh, it sucked. And it sucked because like it's not me going up there and saying it in front of like a lot of people. It was more that I was saying it and I felt it. I felt the presence of everyone trying to comfort me. I could hear everyone's thoughts saying, Carol, I'm sorry. It's going to be okay, stuff like that. You know, I felt the sadness from everyone towards me. And honestly, I tried my best to not think about it because I didn't want to cry in front of people I don't really know. Like I said, um, or people that I don't really see. Like I don't know. I don't know. I saw a lot of people that I really didn't expect to see. Um, but it was nice. Thank you for everyone who went to the viewing and the funeral, and to my house and everything. It was really nice. Um, and you know, the funeral was really boring. Not that it has to be fun or anything, but it was really boring. Um, and and then that was it. Then the next day, I think it was more harder for my mom than it was for anybody else, which obviously I don't blame her because I mean, it's a mom. So, I know my mom's gonna be watching this, and, Ama, I just know that me, my dad, anyone is there for you. whether it's now, whether it's 2 years from now, whether it's 20 years from now, everyone's there for you, um, especially me. It sucks because there's nothing you can say to make her feel better, you know? Um, and, my mom's my best friend, and seeing her cry and in pain, and and that there's nothing I can do to fix it, it it sucks. um, all I could do was just listen to her or hug her, tell her that I love her or talk about it, you know, which I know helps her, which I know that, you know, she likes to talk about it. She does like hugs and all this affection and stuff. Um, which I obviously I don't blame her, and I don't mind giving it to her. I love talking about David. I love, you know, it's just sometimes it's a sensitive topic for me. Um, just depends, depends who's asking me and where I'm at. Like if I'm at school or I'm at work, and someone asks me about it, I don't think I'd cry. I would not cry. But if it was like, if I was at home and, someone asked me about it and we went like deep into the conversation, then yeah, I would cry. um, but, you know, the first days, weeks, months that nobody came to the house and it was just my parents and me and Dani, it was tough. It was, it sucked. It was gonna be my senior year. I was about to graduate. Now I'm in college, and now I have my first job, and he's not here physically, and there's a lot of things I can say about this entire experience, or you know part of my life. Um, and like I said, I've told this to a lot of people. It's it's hard. It's really hard to lose, a sibling, because David is 4 years older than me, and because of that, we had more memories than I've had, um, with a lot of people. It's like it's either you love or you hate your sibling, and for me it was like both. um, he made me upset. He annoyed me. Um, but he had his moments. When we first moved to Bakersfield, he would take me a lot of places with him, and like if he wanted to go get chips, he didn't want to go by himself, so he'd ask me like, "Hey, you want to go get chips? I'll buy you some. Just go with me." I'm like, okay. Or go to Walmart, or it's little stuff like that. And it was little things, but it meant a lot to me, I guess. And there was never once where I said no. Or there would be times where my mom and my parents and my little sister wouldn't be home, and it was just me and him, and he'd be like, "Hey, you want to go watch a movie with me downstairs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so we'd go downstairs and watch a scary movie, um, or something funny or something dumb. And it was like little things, but and it sucked. It sucked because our senior year, I when my parents and my little sister were gone, I was alone. I couldn't, and I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I couldn't. I didn't have anybody to go take me to get chips, or I didn't have anybody to watch a scary movie with. I didn't have anybody to, play video games with. I didn't have I didn't have that best friend slash sibling that I always had. You know, um, it was like a missing. It's like a part of me was missing, and I'm just never gonna see him. I'm never gonna see him again. And when I am, I'm gonna be dead. You know, it. And I know that a lot of people say that he's here. Oh no, he's here spiritually, and he's always listening to you and watching you from above. I know that. I know that, but that's not the point. That's not what I wish to hear or wish to know. I know that already. It's just I wish I could see him again. I wish I could see him and know that I don't know, he magically came back to life and was completely normal and was back in my life. You know, always, always, always try to leave your best impression on anybody, whether you know them or not, whether they're family or friends or just a coworker or acquaintance or a student or a teacher. Because you never know, you never know when they won't be in your life anymore. And obviously for David, I miss you. And I hope to see you soon.